before. That was one that they very much wanted to win. Been a dogfight with Toronto recently. They're off tonight, and they'll be back home tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, playing the Chicago Bulls. And then Monday, still at home against the Magic of Orlando. And then they're home. I guess they're home most of next week. Mavs are going to be in town. So, as we limp towards the end of the season, there's only a couple of weeks left, right? Literally a couple of weeks left of basketball to play.
There's about 3 weeks left.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is when I have to switch over my license plate frame, Bill, from Bulls to White Sox. That's how that works. So, Cavaliers, of course, you'll hear each and every game here on WMMS, your FM home for Cleveland Cavaliers basketball. And on the iHeartRadio app, you can listen over there as well. If you listen to this show on the app from out of state, tell me where. I heard from Rob, who has, he travels, he has like a Southern Command post or something, so he travels back and forth. He's been a longtime bureau chief in Erie, Pennsylvania, but now he spends half his time in a town called Azle, Texas, which I believe is a western suburb of Dallas. And so Rob is, he's a dual city bureau chief because he splits his time between the two, which I find fascinating.
That's got to be tough.
Does it?
I mean, just for all the back and forth that you've had to do to Michigan over the years, just living in two places is not easy.
It is very time-consuming. Yeah. Alan, I'm Ashley. I'm a newer listener of the show. Big fan. You guys are hilarious. One question, though. Why do you make Poundcake sound like Rasputia from Norbit when you imitate him?
Because he's rude.
A, that is a reference no one's going to get.
I understand it.
That was one of those awful Eddie Murphy movies. Norbit.
I'm fine if I know I'm fine.
Norbit, right. Again, Poundcake answers the question for you. When I go, that's Poundcake. That's, that is that's partially, it's the tiny Poundcake imitation. Yeah. It's an ode. That's pretty good. Hey, man. Wait, hold on. Yeah,
because when he gets going, that's how he sounds.
Right.
Like, it's not how he sounds all the time, but when he gets fired up about something, it is that.
Yeah. So again, I don't understand the reference that you make, but if it sounds, context clues would lead me to believe.
All right, let's be honest. That's our favorite movie, and we try and sneak it in wherever we can. We just want to, for all the Norbit fans out there.
I can't tell you how many times I've had to be dragged into management's office and they go, would you stop with the Norbit references? Please, you're talking to such a niche group of people with that. Fewer than one, probably. Alan, I'm shopping for a new team currently as well. Who will Bill root for now that he's out on the Browns for this season?
I don't know if I'm going to root for any team specifically, but
you think you might take the season off?
I think I might just be like a general football fan and just enjoy it for what it is, but also not be as invested. Like I don't know. But the one that I'm leaning towards is Lions.
Okay.
I think I have a lot of friends in Detroit. Yep. I feel like a kinship with that fan base because of the suffering.
It's a legacy team.
Yeah, and I also, they have a lot of history. The other one would be the Bills. But I feel like it's kind of cheap to go to the Bills because they're already good. So I feel like if I'm going to punish myself this far, might as well go all the way in and go with the team that is
I see.
Not a lot of upside.
I see.
But I don't know. I don't even know if I'm going to be all that invested in football in the upcoming season.
At the very least, it's a way to redefine your relationship with the sport.
Exactly.
Yeah, at least for one.
And again, I love football. I play fantasy football. I've been into it, but there have been years in the past where I wasn't as into it, and I can go. Like, I don't have that as like a personality trait of like being a sports fan is my identity, which I know there are a lot of people that have that, and I don't want to say that there's anything wrong with that. It's just not all the way who I am. It's just it's a hobby and it should be enjoyable. And when it gets into something that is as heavy as every time you see your favorite team, you're thinking about sexual assault, you go, this isn't having the same effect that I was hoping for. I want it to be, almost false anger about something because I have no control over it. But now it's a much heavier issue.
Yeah, there were a lot of letters to the editor over at the Plain Dealer about Deshaun Watson. A lot of lifelong Browns fans, a lot of loyal, lifelong Browns fans who are like, hey, please rethink this. Now, again,
$250 million in.
Yeah, there's no way that's a situation. But a lot of people had a lot of thoughts about that. This is what it takes to win. I'd rather just keep losing, said a guy named Joe from Lakewood. And I think that's part of it, too. I think that the miscalculation here is that Cleveland is so used to losing that even diehard fans don't find the choice to take the high ground a hard one. You know what I mean? Like, given the, listen, if you had somebody that wasn't taking you to the Super Bowl, that's no different than every other season. So in a situation like this, I don't know if there's anybody to be like, yeah, okay, finally, we got something here that's going to move the needle.
And I'm going to say this, it wasn't an easy decision because he is a very good football player. And there is part of me that just wants to go, don't worry about it. There's nothing you can do about it. So just try and separate those things and cheer for the team. You don't have to be a big Deshaun Watson fan, but you can still be a Browns fan. But the more I've thought about it, the more I just have to separate myself. But I, once again, want to reiterate that I do not blame anyone or condemn anyone for continuing to support the Browns. I just am not going to. So if you want to support the Browns, don't think I'm looking at you like you are some bad person. Because people have their reasons for doing so.
It is interesting how personally people have taken your opinion. That's odd to me. It's like a personal affront to them.
Right. And I don't want it to be that. For me, it's a situation where, like I said, if I'm watching my favorite team and all I can think about is the quarterback that has all these allegations against him, and the press conference today didn't sway me in any way to make me think that he is telling the truth, because he said that he decided to join the Browns before he knew about the $230 million contract. And that's the biggest lie I've ever heard in my entire life.
That's a lie that doesn't even need to be told.
Right.
You don't even need to.
Because he already said he wasn't, like, on Thursday, the word was he told the Browns they're not in the running.
And then they came in. Sign it with the Browns.
Sign with the Browns. $230 million guaranteed.
Yeah.
So don't tell me that this is a guy that is being 100%. Because also when they asked him about the 40 different massage therapists he had over the years, he said, well, scheduling can be a problem. And that's not a great answer.
Also, why wouldn't you just put somebody on staff?
I was going to say,
why wouldn't you hire a massage therapist?
And why wouldn't you? And why would you continue to go to Craigslist or Instagram to find these massage therapists? That's not how LeBron does it. That's not how a lot of the other professional athletes are finding the massage therapist that works with them on a regular basis.
Yeah, they're not going to strip malls.
Yeah.
I'm getting a massage tomorrow morning, and my first in a little while, and I'm trying to get them more regularly. Mm-hmm. But man, I can't wait. And if I had the means, I would absolutely have a masseuse on retainer.
Staff, yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Can we get that in your next contract?
My next contract?
Yeah.
There might not be a next contract. Well, what do I know? My contract's not up for another year and a half.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, when you go to negotiations, be like, maybe we can just get that for
another 2.5 years, actually. Yeah. All right, guys, listen. Time to play hardball. I know you guys want me to sign another deal here. I'm going to need it. An on-staff massage therapist. Would this be somebody for all you guys? No, just me. No, I'd be the only person they'd have to rub.
Mm-hmm. And just for, the, what do they call that? The appearances? It could be a dude named Brutus.
I don't want a dude named Brutus. But...
then I am not signing off on it.
All right.
Which...
At 2 Brutai? Yeah. No, I don't think that... I don't know, but I will make a note to myself about that. But yeah, I do like that. Man, I was already excited to join Cleveland. And then they called me and they said, hey, we appreciate your excitement. Here's $230 million. They go, boy, it was just a nice benefit.
Man, shut your ass up.
That's right.
Yeah.
It was just a nice benefit. Peyton Manning is on Instagram now. I think he's only posted one video of him as a little kid. But this made people very, very excited because Peyton Manning is historically an entertaining guy. He's a funny guy, humble dude.
I'm more surprised.
He's got a face like a cruise missile, this guy. But, I mean, he's a funny guy.
He is funny.
Classic Saturday Night Live bit.
One of the best ever.
When he was playing football with kids.
Yeah.
Hang out with your children so that Peyton Manning doesn't have to. Just hitting kids in the head with the football.
Okay, I'm sorry. Do you want to lose? I throw, you catch. It's not that hard, okay? All right, get the out of here. I think he's really hurt.
There's no substitute for the hands-on guidance.
15 years ago.
I know, right?
Then you just push it a little further, and you should hear it.
Breaking into a car.
Why don't we just use your keys?
I told you, I forgot them. Cops, every man to himself.
Just a few hours of Peyton's time helps create childhood memories that will last a lifetime.
Just keep biting down.
He's got a strap in a kid's mouth because he's getting a tattoo. Anyway, classic Peyton Manning bit on SNL.
He also had some good Nationwide commercials. That was his thing, right? Nationwide?
Yeah, him and Brad Paisley.
Yeah. But even the one where he was cheering for people at their jobs, and he's at a little cafe, and he's holding up...
right.
He's going, decaf. Decaf.
Yep.
Silliness.
So he turned 46 years old. I had no idea he was that old. He's 46 yesterday, and so he celebrated by getting on Instagram. It's just Peyton Manning. It would be nice to be that well known so that when you decide to join social media out of boredom or whatever else, you instantly have 500,000 people who,
well, usually
that'd be pretty wild.
When a celebrity of his caliber joins Instagram, they're doing it right before they're about to promote something big.
Yep.
He's either got a podcast coming out. I know they do the Manning cast on Monday Night Football, which I enjoy. So I imagine this has something to do with some project that he's going to be promoting in the near future.
Yeah, sure. I mean, Eli got on Twitter a couple of years ago, and but they haven't been crazy prolific on social media. They have I think he and his brother have a production company. But yeah, he's a funny dude.
Yeah.
He was one of the he was the only athlete when Letterman did his final top 10 list, and he had 10 celebrities out there, because he's obviously he's big friends with Peyton Manning, because Letterman's from Indiana, and he had Peyton Manning come out, and he was more excited to see Peyton Manning, because I have a feeling the producers lined up the 10 people. I don't know if Letterman had anything to do with it. But you can watch on YouTube the final top 10 list. It's Steve Martin and Seinfeld and Julia Louis-Dreyfus. It's a murderer's row of people. I think Betty White maybe Barbara Walters, not Betty White. And Peyton Manning. He was more excited to see Peyton Manning in that lineup than anybody. He made a beeline when they were all done for Peyton Manning. Just standing there fanboying all over him. Loved it. Alan Cox Show After Hours line. If you want to drop us a message anytime, you can do that. It is 216. Oh, hold on. I always forget where I put my calls. 216-986-8903.
Hey, Alan, it's Scott in Brunswick. You and Bill talk about The Simpsons a lot on the show. Just wondering if you guys had any opinions on Futurama, the other Matt Groening project. Let me know. Hate the show. Hope you get well soon, Alan. Bye-bye.
Let me know.
My number's 216.
Whoop, I don't want that. Some people leave their phone numbers. Like, I'm not going to get back to you.
Right,
Just
call you
FYI.
personally,
Yeah,
but
right.
yeah. I am a huge fan of Futurama.
Never got into it.
I love Futurama. I'm
Simpsons
excited.
is more than enough for me.
They're bringing it back, and I'm excited because they got the whole cast back. There was a little bit of a holdout with John DiMaggio, and he came through. So I'm excited for that. There's definitely it's got some uneven parts because of they didn't always have the same writers coming back, but those first original seasons were really good, and then the movies that they like broke up and put on Comedy Central as episodes, those are kind of weird. And then when they brought it back full time to Comedy Central for a few seasons, there's a lot of really funny stuff in there. Like overall, I enjoy that show quite a bit.
Do you watch Disenchantment? That's his other show.
I
over
watched
on Netflix.
The first 2 seasons, and it doesn't do it for me. Like, it's got some funny stuff. Every once in a while, I'll just turn it on, but I haven't been diehard with that like I have more with like Futurama. And,
I like the cast, but it didn't hold me, or you know.
Maybe I'll get back into it, but I just haven't stuck with it the way I have these other shows. But like Futurama, man, I was just watching it the other day, and just there's so many little jokes, and there's a lot of very like there's nerdy humor, there's really smart humor where I didn't know it was even a joke till I watched like the DVD commentary. And I was like, I don't know enough about physics for that to be funny to me,
Right.
but there's definitely some physicists that are like, that's very funny.
Physicists were co-signing on the joke being good.
Yeah.
That their creative consultants had done their proper diligence in doing whatever. Yeah, boy, God bless John DiMaggio. The guy does Bender. And he does a billion other... If you look at the cast, by the way, of any cartoon, whether it's a kid's cartoon, and these days, the weirder a kid's cartoon is, the more popular it is. My daughter's watching a show right now called Uncle Grandpa. And these shows are just bona fide weird. Weird. When I was a kid, it was like still just... kind of standard cartoons. There weren't weird cartoons for weird's sake. But now they kind of have to like out-weird each other. But there are like 10...
I think that started with like the Ren and Stimpy era.
Yeah, I think so too. Beavis and Butthead. And I mean, there was a natural progression of...
But then it got to a silliness and then just flat out just doesn't even have to make sense.
Right, the
Just has to
writers
be
are just
bright
doing
colors.
acid all the time
Yeah.
or something, you know? And they can be funny, but I mean, in a very like kind of non-linear way. But as far as the voiceover stuff goes, holy cow, there's about 10 people, and that's a bloodthirsty business too, is voiceover. But there are about 10 people who do all the voices in all the cartoons.
Who's E.G. Daily?
E.G. Daily does...
Because she was
Rugrats,
but she's done a million other things. I think she does a bunch of stuff on Futurama, too. She does a bunch of shows on Cartoon Network.
She was an actress in the 80s. She's in
Yeah.
Better Off Dead and a whole bunch of stuff. But DiMaggio
She
does
still
Bender.
looks
and,
good, too.
Does she?
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a whole, not that many people. Kevin Richardson basically does like every black guy in every cartoon.
Yeah. Maurice LaMarche. He's a pretty popular guy. Billy West, who started on the Stern Show.
Yeah. Well, he did Ren and Stimpy.
Yeah.
And then kind of fell in with the Stern crew, but yeah.
Oh, he was doing Ren and Stimpy before Stern?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Well, maybe not.
I thought he was doing Stern first.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think Crick Falusi heard him on Stern and then said, I might want to do something with this guy. But yeah, boy, that's the sweet spot right there, is if you got the kind of pipes where they go, hey, want to do a cartoon? Because even if it doesn't last, you're like, do a cartoon for a while. Why not?
But there's even people that are newer to it where they tried doing like regular acting stuff, and then their voices just work so much better on cartoons. Like Kristen Schaal, I feel like does more cartoons than she does actual acting now. I think same thing.
Which
with
I am
H.
perfectly
John
fine with.
Benjamin.
Yeah.
He's got a great voice.
Does your voice age?
Huh?
Does your voice age?
Mark Hamill's sure did.
Yeah, I think it depends on
Like-
how you take care of it. But there's
I know if
definitely
you're-
guys like Billy West who plays Fry on Futurama, or even anyone on the cast of The Simpsons. Lisa still sounds pretty much the same from the early episodes.
I know when what's that cartoon with the monkey Dora the Explorer? They trade the kids out every like 6 years because they get too old to play the part. So I understand if you're playing a kid, but if you're playing like an adult,
Well, that's why they would
is there-
get someone like E.G. Daily to do a kid's voice, because then you don't have to
age 'em
swap them out. Yeah.
Yeah, it's wild how many adults are doing kids' voices.
Nancy
who's
Cartwright, right?
Yeah, who's this kid?
Yeah.
Yeah, like Simpsons are kind of like that OG idea of animated voices, but like you go back to like
We go back to,
Adventure Time and Steven Universe and those kinds of shows. It was adults doing kids.
and there's a lot more in the business now. But remember when it was Looney Tunes? It was Mel
Blanc doing
Mel
all of the
Blanc,
voices.
every voice
Yeah.
was Mel Blanc. They had to pay one guy.
That's
to
right.
do all the voices.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to break. If you want to text for something, 35192, Alan